Hi everyone, my name is Taru L and I'm going to talk about the beef production and greenhouse gas emissions here in the United States. Beef is the third most consumed meat in the world, and according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, United States is the fourth most beef consuming country per capita. And we are also one of the biggest beef producers in the world. And this gives us a straightforward insight on the importance and scale of the United States beef industry. And according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, their estimate states that beef industry would be responsible for 1.9% of the total greenhouse gas emissions of the United States total. And there are different consumers and different needs on the markets. So I'm going to discuss the two main ways of producing beef cattle, and I'm going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of each model. So the number one popular beef production model is the conventional cattle, which according to Penn State Extension covers around 80% of the beef produced in the United States. This conventional cattle, also called grain-fed cattle, usually starts from several month pasture period. From there then turned into feedlots, which you can see in your visual, that's the upper picture. And here in the feedlots, they are fed with high-energy grain diet, which usually consists of soy, corn, and other grains. Feedlots can hold up to tens of thousands of heads of cattle, and they aim for high yield with small cost. So in this grain-fed cattle, you're allowed to use growth hormones, antibiotics, and just to ensure the high growth. And disadvantages of this grain-fed cattle comes from reducing the feed for the cattle, managing feces, processing the beef, and then methane emissions from cattle digestive system. This leads to leaks of animal waste, pathogens, and antibiotics to waterways, which causes local environmental issues, apparently. So, according to Science magazine, ruminant digestive system, which is meant for grass originally, can produce even more methane gas when fed with soy and corn. So this advantages for grain-fed cattle are that they grow fast and they require relatively small area of land per head to manage and produce. And since they reach their harvest size rapidly, they nevertheless gain more fat, which then reduces the quality of an amount of yield of beef. So now that we understand the concept of grain-fed cattle, we're going to contrast this to grass-fed beef. And grass-fed beef, as the name reveals, is based on sold grass and grass products like forage. This is a more natural way of producing beef, but it does not equal organic production. So most of their life, grass-fed beef spends their life on the pastures grazing, which you can see in your visual in the bottom picture. And in the wintertime, when grazing is not an option, they are on grass-fed forage diet. And disadvantages of grass-fed beef are that feeding grass requires relatively large amount of land per head to manage, and they reach their market weight slower. And in the United States, it's about 27% of grasslands and pastures that are used for grass-fed beef. But grass-fed beef, on the other hand, has less fat and it's richer in nutrients, and it really receives better price. So, according to this Oklahoma State University, grass-fed beef contributes to soil carbon sequestration, and this is one of the proven advantages. And what this means is it stimulates the regrowth of the grass, which then fixes carbon from the air. And grazing also spreads out cattle manure, which then again functions as natural fertilizer for the soil. But although this sequestration does not even out the emissions from grass-fed beef industry. So after comparing and contrasting these two production models, you should be able to point out the main advantages and disadvantages of both of the production models. And I encourage you to be aware of these when you make your choice. Thank you.